Good evening, barflies and lounge lizards, and welcome to Glow in the Dark Cinema. I'm your host, Mr. R. Sterling, and tonight we'll be taking a look at X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes from 1963. Directed by legendary filmmaker Roger Corman of The Little Shop of Horrors and It Conquered the World fame, not to mention production work on about 1,000 awesome movies, X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes is a dark sci-fi film that tells the story of a man with X-ray eyes. What? You want more? Geez, picky. But X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes, tells the story of a scientist who has developed special eye drops that are supposed to allow him to see beyond the visible spectrum. Things the human eye can't detect, like ultraviolet, X-ray wavelengths, and the appeal of CGI. Rather than testing it on animals or volunteers, he goes for it himself, and sure enough, it works. So he keeps on doing it. And that, patrons of the snack bar, does not go too well. He eventually accidentally kills a colleague because of it and ends up going on the run. Our X-raying pal soon finds himself working at a carnival as a mind reader. And well, let's just say it all starts to take its toll on his sanity. Let's leave it there. As mentioned, this one was directed by Roger Corman. I haven't done a proper retrospective of the man's work yet, mainly because I haven't wanted to cash in on his passing, but I am a big fan. Just in Sword and Sorcery alone, he produced several of my all-time favorite films, including Deathstalker, Sorceress, and Deathstalker 2. Also worth noting is he produced Black Scorpion, and for once, I actually mean the sexy superhero film. The film stars Ray Milland as our eye-dropping scientist and man you don't want to hang out near windows with. Milland was an accomplished actor with many notable roles to his name, including Dial M for Murder, Frogs, Battlestar Galactica, and the Mark Twain classic, The Thing with Two Heads. Milland also worked as a director and directed himself in the sci-fi film Panic in Year Zero. Next we have Diana Vandervlis, pronunciation there, as a fellow scientist and the female lead of the film. She was an actress of both stage and screen and is probably best known as a soap opera actress, but she also appeared on The Fugitive, Flipper, and The Invaders. And finally, I wanted to mention two minor but most excellent roles in the film, and that's Dick Miller and Don Rickles. Rickles plays the carnival manager in one of his few serious roles. He does quite well in the part too. And it probably goes without saying that character actor and Corman regular Dick Miller is all kinds of excellent in the film. Miller appeared in so many great movies it's almost hard to comprehend. So let's not even try, because this channel really isn't that smart or that deep. Both Miller and Rickles appear in the carnival scenes, which is the highlight of the film for yours truly. The film features some interesting visual effects showing Milland's new enhanced vision, and set effects are credited to a John Howard, and this appears to be his only work in sci-fi. If it's even the same John Howard I found, it's kind of vague and I got tired of looking. Those donuts weren't gonna eat themselves. Corman's original idea for the film was pretty similar to what we ended up with, but at one point he changed his mind, thinking the lead character being a scientist was a bit too obvious. So he changed the character to a jazz musician who takes too many drugs and, I suppose, starts X-ray eyeing. He would change his mind again and go back to the idea of a scientist. The film cost around $300,000 to make and took around 3 weeks to film. It was released as a double feature with Dementia 13 and was considered a bit of a success for AIP. It even got a comic book adaptation by Gold Key, and as expected, it featured one of those fantastic Gold Key covers. On a related note, apparently there's a song about the film on the 1998 Blue Oyster Cult album Heaven Forbid. But what's really interesting there is the bulk of the lyrics for that album were written by sci-fi writer John Shirley, who co-wrote the screenplay for The Crow, as well as episodes of Deep Space Nine and Brave Star. Supposedly at one point a remake was in the works by Tim Burton. It was to star Forrest Tucker, who was set to play every role in the film. I'm just kidding, of course. Imagine how silly that would have been. A remake of all things. Now it's time for a big old nasty spoiler. I'll try to keep it as vague as I can, but it's still super spoilery. So jump ahead to the next section if you haven't seen the film. But according to Stephen King in his book Danse Macabre, there was an alternate ending where Milland's character says that he can still see after, well, certain things happen. Corman says this is completely untrue, and even joked that King's ending was better than his own. The soundtrack to the film was by, are you ready for this? Exotica legend Les Baxter. Any of you who've seen my introduction to Exotica video, which if you haven't, it's one of the best things I've ever done on the channel, will know that Baxter was one of the most important figures in Exotica, aka tiki bar music or lounge music. Matter of fact, why don't you go watch that video right now? There's nothing really interesting left in this one anyways, just the releases, my rating, and a commercial or two. X, the Man with X-Ray Eyes has been released on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and Laserdisc. And I give this one 3 atomic popcorns out of 5. This is a really good time with a great carnival scene. And you know I'm a sucker for carnival scenes. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, watch the skies, and stay atomic.
The annual Nabisco Cereal Toy Roundup Contest.
Here's your chance to win a raid on a gigantic toy department.
And every toy you take is yours, free.
Why, just imagine. In a short time, you may be a winner, turned loose in a fabulous toy department. Here's every toy you've ever wanted. Bikes, dolls, boats, planes, all kinds of sporting equipment. Games galore. First prize winner gets 5 minutes to round up all his favorite toys. Second prize winner, 4 minutes. Third prize winner, 3 minutes. There will be 9 winners. A first, second, and third prize winner for each of the 3 regions of the country. Winners and their families will receive an all-expense trip to one of these department stores. Jordan Marsh and Company, Boston. Carson Peary Scott and Company, Chicago. Bon Marché, Seattle.
In addition, more than 1,000 other boys and girls will win. Prizes like Lionel passenger train sets, Benrus wristwatches, Columbia bikes, RCA Victor 3-speed phonographs, and Rin Tin Tin record albums. Now, here's how to win, and it's easy.
Just name my pony.
That's all. Just name Rusty's pony and you can win.
Next, tear off the box top from any Nabisco cereal. Nabisco Shredded Wheat, Nabisco Shredded Wheat Juniors, Nabisco Wheat Honeys, Nabisco Rice Honeys, or Nabisco 100% brand. On the box top, print the name of the pony, your own name and address, age, and state whether boy or girl. Mail to Rusty, Box 1, Brooklyn 1, New York. That's Rusty, Box 1, Brooklyn 1, New York.
Enter as many times as you wish. But hurry, contest closes November 11th.